welcome to my new YouTube channel, Chit Chat with Law. So, this will be a study session on the Constitution of India, an unparalleled document that serves as the foundation of world's largest democracy. So, before moving forward, we are talking about constitution. What is a constitution? This is the first question that arises in our mind. So, have you ever wondered what keeps a country running smoothly? What ensures that everyone from the common citizen to the highest authority plays the same rules? And here the answer is it is the document known as Constitution of India, which ensures that all the citizens as well as the highest authority of a country follows the same rules. Now, why this document is very important? Imagine you are living in a country where there are no clear rules. What if the government could do anything if it wanted without any checks? What if the people's rights were not protected? There would be chaos everywhere and there would be no justice or order. A constitution prevents this. It defines the power of the government and ensures that these powers are used fairly. It also guarantees certain rights to the people so everyone knows what they are entitled to do and what is expected from them. So this is the reason why constitution is very important. So moving forward to Indian Constitution, to understand the Constitution of India, we must first explore the historical context in which it was framed. India had to travel a long journey, that is to get its independence from the British colony. This period saw numerous revolts, movements, and the rise of nationalistic sentiments. Demand for self-governance grew stronger over time, and this led to Indian Independence Act of 1947. However, the road to a free and sovereign nation required more than just independence. It required a solid constitutional framework. So now let us have some example. Let us look at some example of a constitution before moving on, moving forward to know more about the Indian Constitution. So the Indian Constitution is one of the most detailed constitution in the entire world. It lays down everything from the structure of the government to the rights and duties of the citizens. For example, we can take the structure of the government. It explains that India is a federal country with a central government and the state governments. It also lays down how the governments will function and interact, how the central government and state government will interact each other. It describes the fundamental rights. It guarantees every citizen certain basic rights that are known as fundamental rights. Then directive principle, these guidelines are for the government to follow. And the amendment process. The constitution also allows for changes to be made as society evolves, ensuring that it stays relevant over time. So here's an interesting fact. Did you know that Indian Constitution is the longest written constitution in the world? It's originally had 395 articles and 8 schedules, but has been amended many times since then, making it even longer. This reflects the diversity and complexity of India as a nation. But India is not the only country with a constitution. The United States, for example, has one of the oldest written constitutions still in use today. It must it is shorter than India's, but it also has a greater influence on its own country as well as on other countries too. In Japan also, the post World War II constitution is known for its article 9, which renounces war as a means to settle international dispute. Each country's constitution is the reflection of its history, values, and aspiration. While they all serve the same basic purpose, setting the rules of governance, they are unique to the nation they represent. In essence, a constitution is much more than just a document. It's not just a document. It's actually the blueprint of a nation. It ensures that everyone plays the same rules, the rights are protected, and the justice prevails. If there was no constitution, there would have been no machinery to protect the rights of the citizens, to look over whether all the people of the country are following the same rule or not. Without constitution, there would be no clear direction or order actually, and the very idea of democracy would not be there. So the next time you think about what holds a country together, remember it's the constitution, the ultimate rule book that keeps the game fair for everyone. Now the story of Preamble. Let's come on to the story of Preamble, because when we want to study the Constitution of India, the Preamble is the most important part that we should know. The foundation of modern India was being laid. We know that the foundation of modern India was being laid by the freedom fighters of that time. Now let us imagine a large hall filled with leaders who had fought for the country's freedom, sitting together to create something monumental. And that is the Constitution of India. At the heart of this historic document lies the Preamble, a short but powerful introduction that defines the essence of India's identity and the aspiration of India. Now, you got to know why Preamble is the most important part of the Constitution. So, the birth of the Preamble, it began on December 13, 1946, when Jawaharlal Nehru, one of the India's foremost leaders, introduced objective resolution in the Constituent Assembly. Remember this? Introduced the objective resolution in the Constituent Assembly, because this question comes in most of the examinations. The resolution was this resolution was meant to define the guiding principles of the Indian Constitution. After lots of debate and consideration, this resolution revolved into what we know it as Preamble now. So if you want to understand Preamble in simple words, just think the Preamble as a mirror. It reflects the core values, goals, and philosophy of the Constitution. Just like the opening lines of the book set the tone of the story, the Preamble sets the tone of the entire Constitution. So, the Preamble, let us first read the Preamble to understand it more. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political liberty of thoughts, expressions, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949. Remember, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. So now let us understand the phrases or the words of the Preamble in details. We, the people of India. This phrase emphasizes that the Constitution derives its authority from the people, not from any monarch or external power. It is a declaration that the people are the ultimate source of power in India. So now let us understand this with some example. Imagine the Preamble as a contract. Okay, it's as if all the Indians came together to sign this contract, agreeing on how they wanted their country to be governed. So it's the people. Okay, it's the people who is the ultimate source of power in India. This is very important for your exams. Sovereign. India is free from external control. India is not controlled by any other powers. It means that the country is independent and has supreme authority over its external and internal affairs. Okay, no other countries will come and like the control the internal and external affairs of India. Think of sovereign like a ship sailing freely on the ocean. No other nation can control its course. So this is what sovereign means. Socialist. The word was added to the preamble by 46th Amendment in 1976. Remember this, it's very important. The word was added to the preamble by the 42nd Amendment in 1976. So originally preamble did not consist of the word socialist. It was amended. The constitution was amended and this word was added. It reflects the commitment to social and economic equality. The idea is to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor through state intervention in the economy. So, to understand this, just let us take a simple example. Imagine a society where everyone has enough to live comfortably. The government works to ensure that the wealth is distributed more fairly. Now the word secular. So remember this was also added by the 42nd Amendment. It means that the state has no religion, official religion. So India has no official religion. In India, all the religions are treated equally and there is no discrimination based on religion. So this is one of the most important the topic that comes in the examination. So this part is important. You should mark it down or write it down in your copies because this question comes repeatedly. Now to understand secularism, let us imagine that secularism is like a large garden with many different flowers. Each flower represents a different religion, all growing peacefully together without one overshadowing the other. That means all the flowers are enjoying without without any discrimination or without any fights with each other. Now, democratic. We all know India is a democratic country. So, India is a democratic country, meaning that the government is elected by the people. We have elections and we elect our representatives. Each citizen has a voice in how the country is run through regular elections. So, now let us imagine a town meeting where everyone gets to vote on an important issue. That's the essence of democracy. That we can vote for the person whom we want as our representative. Now, republic. Okay, what this republic means? In a republic, the head of the state is elected rather than being hereditary monarch. India's president is the head of the republic chosen through an electoral process. So we will learn about the electoral process of the president in the further classes. Now to understand republic, think of it like choosing a class president at school. Everyone gets to vote and the person who with the most votes leads. Now the next is justice, social, economic and political. The preamble aims to secure justice in all its forms. That is, social justice means no discrimination, economic justice, fair distribution of wealth, and political justice ensures that everyone has a voice in governance, that everyone is able to vote. Now imagine a balanced scale. Justice ensures that everyone gets what they deserve without any biasness. Now, liberty of thoughts, expression, belief, faith, and worship. What does this mean? Liberty means freedom. The preamble guarantees that every person can think, speak, and believe as they wish, as long as they do not harm others. Now, the picture a vast open field where everyone can walk freely. That is what liberty means. But while walking, you should not disturb others. You should not go and hamper the freedom of others. Now, equality of status and opportunity. Everyone in India is equal before the law and has the same opportunity to succeed regardless of their background. Okay, it does not in India, it does not depend from which background are you coming from. You will have the equal opportunities to sit for the exams, to go for interviews, etc. etc. Now let us think of a race where everyone starts at the same line. That's what equality aims to achieve. Fraternity. So, fraternity means a sense of brotherhood. It promotes the idea of unity among all the citizens, ensuring dignity for everyone and protecting the nation's unity and integrity. Now, imagine a close kin community where everyone looks out for each other. That's what fraternity represents. India is known for its brotherhood, so this is what fraternity means. Now the journey of preamble in the course. This is most important. So as India grew, so the questions about role and significance of preamble also started rising. Over the years, several landmark cases have shaped our understanding of this powerful introduction. No, the first case was Berubari Union case, 1960. Is here the question arised was, is the preamble a part of the constitution? And the outcome was the Supreme Court held that preamble is not a part of the constitution. However, it is a key to understanding the constitution and express its intent. Think of the preamble as a cover book. It is not the part of the main story, but it gives you a glimpse of what's inside. So that is what Supreme Court tried to explain. But the Kesava Bharati case came into the picture in 1973. Here the question was arised was, can the preamble be amended? And the Supreme Court overruled its previous judgment and declared that the preamble is indeed a part of the constitution. Moreover, it established the doctrine of basic structure, meaning certain fundamental aspects of the constitution included in a preamble's core principles cannot be altered by amendments. Just imagine a house built on strong pillars. You can paint the walls or change the furniture, but if you try to move the pillars, the house might collapse. The preamble is one of those pillars. So this is what the Supreme Court tried to explain in Kesava Bharati case, and it said that the preamble is a part of constitution, and you can amend the constitution as well as the preamble. The basic structure of the constitution or preamble cannot be amended. Now the Minerva Mills case came into the picture in 1980. Here the question that arose was how important is the balance between fundamental rights and the directive principle of state policy. The Supreme Court emphasized that harmony between the fundamental rights and directive principle is the part of the basic structure of the constitution, and the preamble highlights this balance. So Constitution is the seesaw where fundamental rights and the directive principles needs to balance for smooth governance. So the preamble is not just an introduction, it is more than an introduction to the Indian Constitution. It is a declaration of the country's value and vision. Okay, it is the essence of what the India aspires to be, a nation that upholds justice, liberty, equality and fraternity for all its citizens. So no matter where India goes in future, the preamble will be the same. And just imagine the preamble as a compass. No matter where India's go, India will go in the future, the compass ensures that the nation stays true to its foundational principles, guiding its path towards a just and equitable society. Whether you were studying for an exam or simply learning about the constitution, remember that the preamble is not just a set of words, it's the soul of the nation's guiding document, reflecting the dreams and aspiration of every Indian. Now let us come to some of the important questions that are asked in various examinations. So the preamble of Indian Constitution is a significant and symbolic part of the document. While it sets the tone and reflects the philosophy of the Constitution, it is important to note that it has been amended only once since its adoption. This is very important. Now, how many times has the preamble been adopted? It's only once. Which Amendment Act amended the preamble? One of the important questions, that is 42nd Amendment Act of 1947. What changes were made to the preamble by the 42nd Amendment Act? It added some new words to the preamble, that is socialist, secular and integrity. These three words were added. What is the significance of 42nd Amendment in relation to the preamble? So this 42nd Amendment Act is often referred to as mini constitution due to its extensive changes to the constitution brought the preamble more in line with the goals of justice and economic justice, okay, as envisioned by the government at that time. So remember this, the 42nd Amendment Act is also known as mini constitution. Can the preamble be amended? Yes, the preamble can be amended, but only as long as the basic structure of the constitution is not altered. This was established by the Supreme Court in the Kesavananda Bharati case. Is the preamble considered part of the constitution? Yes, preamble is an integral part of the constitution. This was also established in the Kesavananda Bharati case, where the Supreme Court ruled that the preamble is a part of constitution and can be amended, but the basic structure doctrine applies. Now, what does the term basic structure mean in the context of preamble? The basic structure refers to the fundamental principle that forms the foundation of constitution. According to the Supreme Court, this principle includes those expressed in the preamble cannot be altered or destroyed by amendments. What are the key words in the preamble and what do they signify? Sovereign. India is independent and free from external control. Social is added by the 42nd Amendment. It indicates the commitment to social and economic equality. Secular also added by the 42nd Amendment. It means that the state does not favor any religion. Democratic India has a government elected by the people. Republic India has an elected head of the state, the president. Justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. These are the guiding principles ensuring fairness, freedom, equal opportunity and brotherhood among all the citizens. In which landmark case was the preamble's amenability discussed? So the amenability of the preamble was discussed in the Kesavananda Bharati case, where it was ruled that the preamble is a part of constitution and can be amended, but the basic structure cannot be altered. This is very simple. You just need to remember the case. Why the preamble is considered the soul or essence of the constitution? The preamble is considered the soul of the constitution because it includes the core values, principles and objectives that the constitution seeks to achieve. It reflects the vision and philosophy of the framers of the constitution. So this is one of the important questions that I have seen in most of the exams. How does the preamble reflect the objectives of the constitution? The preamble reflects the objective of constitution by outlining the key goals: justice, liberty, equality and fraternity that the constitution aims to achieve for all its citizens. The objective guide the interpretation and application of the constitution. What is the significance of the word "we the people of India" in the preamble? This is also one of the most important questions. The phrase "we the people of India" signifies that the authority of constitution comes from the citizens of India. It emphasizes the idea that the constitution is a document created by and for the people and it represents their collective will. When was the preamble amended? The preamble was adopted on 26 November 1949. Remember this date. The same day the constitution was adopted by the Constituent Assembly. What are the objectives mentioned in the preamble? The objectives include justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. This already I have discussed in details. Now, why was the preamble amended in 1976? The amendment was made to reflect the government's commitment to social and economic justice, secularism and the unity and integrity of the nation. Now, compare the preamble of the Indian Constitution with that of the United States Constitution. Both serves as introduction, but the Indian preamble is more detailed in outlining the objectives such as justice, liberty, equality and fraternity, while US preamble focuses on the purpose of the constitution, like forming a more perfect union, establishing justice, ensuring democratic tranquility. So this is the basic difference between the Indian Constitution and the United States Constitution. Analyze the term fraternity in the context of Indian constitution is very easy. I have already explained to you. It's it means the brotherhood among, it refers to the sense of brotherhood among the citizens, promoting national unity while ensuring the dignity of every individual. It plays a vital role in maintaining the unity and integrity of the nation. Now, why is the preamble often referred to as the soul of constitution? This is also explained. Explain how the preamble acts as a key to understanding the constitution. The preamble provides insight to the framers' intentions and fundamental objectives of the constitution, guiding the interpretation of ambiguous provisions. What are the criticism of the preamble? Okay, some critics argue that the preamble is too idealistic and lacks enforceability. Others believe that the addition of the term socialist and secular during the emergency period in 1976 was politically motivated. So these are some criticisms that we can find. Now, what does the term basic structure doctrine mean and how it is related to the preamble? The basic structure doctrine established in Kesavananda Bharti case holds that certain fundamental aspects of the constitution, including the principles outlined in the preamble, cannot be altered by amendments. Okay, now the next question is, can a law that is inconsistent with the preamble be invalidated? Okay, this is a tricky question that sometimes comes in more exams. While the preamble is not enforceable in court, it can be used to interpret ambiguous provision of the constitution. A law inconsistent with the preamble's principle may be scrutinized and invalidated if it contradicts the constitution's basic structure. So remember this, preamble is not enforceable in the court. Okay, this is also very important. Sometimes the questions are asked is the preamble enforceable in the court? No, the preamble is not enforceable in the court. Discuss the role of preamble in constitutional interpretation. The preamble plays a crucial role in constitutional interpretation, particularly when there is any ambiguity in the language of the constitution. Courts often refer to the preamble to ascertain the true intent of the framer. So if there is any conflict in the language of the constitution, then the court will just refer to the preamble to find out what were the intents of the framers of the constitution. So what is the impact of preamble in Indian polity? The preamble has a profound impact on Indian polity as it lays down the foundational principles of justice, liberty, equality and fraternity, guiding the functioning of the state and ensuring the law and policies align with these core values. Now, how does the preamble influence the making of Indian law? This is important. Legislators often refer to the preamble when drafting laws to ensure that the laws align with the constitution's overreaching goals, okay, of justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. So this was all about preamble. In the further videos, I will be discussing more about constitution. So stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.